This video is gonna get really personal, and I don't know if I'm ready for that. It's not like I'm gonna embarrass myself or anything, right? I'm not a loser. You're a loser, huh? Oh, oops. I am a very impressionable guy. Every time I see something that emotionally affects me, chances are I'm gonna try and copy it. Ew. I know what many of you were thinking. Bro, what are you, 12? No, perhaps, maybe, you're 12. Anyway, a simple example of this would be me as a kid constantly rewatching the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies and thinking to myself, he's literally me. And this mindset has not stopped over my constant years of aging. Why am I talking like an old man? My god. When I watched Haikyuu, I played volleyball. When I watched Blue Lock, I picked up football again. When I watched Spy Family, I purchased a child. That is a joke, please! But I think some of you know where this is going. When I watched a little show called Oshi No Ko, I changed my overall direction in life. God, how do YouTubers do this? Just sharing pieces of their lives like this on the internet? Okay, no, I got this. For those who don't know, Oshi No Ko is a show with kind of a wild premise, actually. So imagine dying, then being reborn as your favorite celebrity's child. I'd get to call Andrew Garfield daddy. But the most important thing to know is that it's a show that kind of tackles what it's like to be in the entertainment industry. You learn more about what goes on behind the scenes for actors, idols, producers, authors, and even YouTubers, which I take personal pride in because of representation. Anyway, being the young and naive and impressionable guy that I am, I watched the show with a lot of interest. I've always had my face stuck on screen since I was a kid, not in an iPad kid kind of way, but in a movies and TV shows kind of way. Getting to see the inner workings of productions and stuff within an anime was outright captivating. One of my favorite moments was in season 2 when, slight spoilers, but it's not super important to the plot though, don't worry, you're fine. A manga author was introduced and she was kind of a bum, in the sense that she was so passionate about her work that she just wouldn't sleep. She had to get a manga chapter out every single week, which would already be hard to do with a team, but this woman didn't even have a team. She was doing all this work on her own because she didn't trust anyone else to work on her manga because she didn't think anyone could get it right besides her. She doesn't have a social life, she doesn't have time for herself, and she's just kind of stuck doing what she loves at the cost of her ability to live. That's how I'm trying to be! What an inspiring story. She's on that grind, guys. Don't go pitying her just because she's perpetually trapped in her work and unable to do anything else because she feels like the only way to be good enough is to sacrifice your life for your art. You just don't get her like I do. Brother, why are you lying? What do you mean you get her? What do you mean you understand the hard work? Your upload schedule is atrocious. You haven't done anything. You're a fraud. You're a fraud, Spider-Man. I just loved learning about what it was like to be an entertainer and how hard it was to become one. I'm not the biggest K-pop fan ever or anything, but I always believed that I knew a decent bit on how scary life as an idol actually was behind the scenes, but Oshi No Ko revealed just how terrifying that profession actually is. Not only can idols be mistreated by their superiors, but they also don't get paid shit. Compared to how famous idols can be, the amount that they get paid is surprisingly less than you would think, meaning that there's very little financial security for idols. And once they reach a certain age, it's unfortunate to think about, but audiences will move on from them and look for something new. In which case, the idols are left to hopefully pursue a solo career, become an actor, or even just submit to doing a regular 9-to-5 job. It's a very high risk and long-term wise, very low reward type of profession. And yet, so many people still want to be idols. It's about leaving an impact for them. It doesn't matter what your background was or who you were in the past or how scary the future is. On stage, your purpose is to make people happy. For now, you're making a name for yourself, leaving behind a legacy. See how interesting this show is? And that's just one part of the show. You also get to learn about the realities of being an actor, the ins and outs of being a YouTuber, how to manage social media, how to deal with fan hate, how to protect yourself by acting through a different persona, the security risks of being known by the public, stalker behavior, falling off, being a failure. It's amazing. It just felt so right to learn about how much of a struggle it was to be an artist, but also not to care about that. It gave me an itch. It felt like a show that I could really see myself relating to if I was allowed to. See, there was a problem. I am a college student with zero clues as to what I want to do in the future. Some of you guys can probably relate to this because, yeah, it's kind of hard to figure out what you want to do in life. The question of what do you want to be when you grow up has always been thrown to us as kids, and we would always answer without a care in the world. But when someone asks you that question in high school, for example, it isn't really fun and games anymore. There's going to be the argument out there that you shouldn't have to worry about things like that yet. No one really knows what they want to do until they're already doing it. Everyone moves at their own pace. And believe me, I stuck by this mindset my entire life. But man, was it pressuring when I still didn't know what kind of career I wanted to aim for when I was already graduating high school. That was terrifying. I had to apply to colleges and I had to pick a course. It was time to make a pretty big decision, and I did something that I still regret to this day. I picked a course that just seemed impressive. A course that would make my folks happy, that would make the people around me happy, and would be a course that I could prance the name of around like a trophy. I picked computer science. Now, before I keep going, I just want to say that I'm not dogging on computer science, except for the fact that I left computer science at a really good time because everyone's saying the computer science students are done for now. I'm just telling you what my personal experience was, and it wasn't really great. I tried to stay positive, and I tried to push through with an open mind, but man, I just didn't really like it. Some stuff just aren't for everybody, and all the algorithms and programming that we had to do just weren't for me. I didn't want to complain though, because this is the course that I picked. I made this choice, I have to stick by it. But the worst part was that I would have to keep doing this for like 4 more years, then pursue a job within that field. That scared me. I already made the people around me believe that I was capable of this, that I could do this. I wasn't a quitter. I wasn't gonna quit. I will not quit. And I think that's what set me off. I just let all the negative and anxious thoughts consume me, and it sent me on a downward spiral. Nothing too crazy happened, I just ended up feeling a lack of any form of motivation. I started talking to my friends less and less, to the point where I kind of stopped talking to anyone socially for almost a month. I was so stuck in my own head, scared about the idea of disappointing people, of not living up to my potential, and just being a waste. Until one day, I just kind of snapped out of it. I don't know what it was. I think I finally had a good night's sleep or something, but all I know is I didn't want to be so down anymore. I knew I had to do something to change things, but I wasn't sure what until I started watching some anime. That is such a degenerate sentence to say. I rewatched the first season of Oshi No Ko, and the same inspiration that I mentioned earlier came back. I got that itch again. Kana, one of the characters in the show, goes through something that felt eerily familiar. She was hyped up as a kid for her capabilities and dependability, but over time, she just wasn't as good as everyone expected her to be. She began to feel alone because she ended up disappointing the people that counted on her to excel. Ever since then, she became a self-deprecating person that would constantly fear that she would drag other people down with her. Oh, there's just so much to take from the show, and I love it. From there, I realized that I needed to put in the work. I needed to be proactive and make the change that I wanted myself. So I did the scary thing, and I changed my course. I went from computer science to entertainment. Every single Asian mama in the world just yelled at me, and I'm gonna cry.
My son's a failure!
It was definitely something I really had to work to convince my parents to let me do, because to be fair, it is a really scary decision to just make out of the blue. But I felt confident in this decision. I wanted to do something that I would actually enjoy. I know a lot of people out there are gonna roll their eyes at the choice I made because it isn't the smart thing or safe thing to do, but I know. It was a purely emotional decision, but so far, I'm really happy with it. That dread that stayed with me over a year has completely gone now. I'm actually enjoying my time without being so anxious about the future. Is it scary, and am I possibly cooked because I went down this path? Maybe, but I'll let that be a problem for future me. Things are just really good at the moment, and all of this started because of watching a single anime. Oshi No Ko made me think about what I was missing out on, things that I was actually interested in, which sent me into a spiral that I wasn't sure I was ever gonna come out from. But it also gave me the inspiration to go for what I wanted, whether or not it would disappoint the people around me, because as long as I wanted it, then that's at least one person that wouldn't be disappointed in me. And you know what? That's good enough for me. So yeah, that's my overly dramatic story of how I chose to follow my dreams or whatever. I don't really like saying this often because I think it's cringy and lame, but if you want, you could hit that subscribe button. Brother, I'm sorry. It's just that I've never felt more motivated to stay on top of my game, and I'm definitely going to apply that energy to this channel. I want to go all out with this thing, and whether or not it fails, I'm not going to regret it. While you're hitting that subscribe button, you could also follow my Twitter if you want to. It's the only social media I have right now besides YouTube. I haven't used it that much, but I'll probably start dumping random stuff on there, like how much I don't really care for popcorn. Anyway, that's it. This video was a lot more on the serious side, which I don't usually do, but I just thought this would be an interesting video to make. So, I guess to end it, if you want to do something, then you should. There may be a couple of things holding you back, and it's not a bad thing to hesitate, but we only really have this one life, right? Might as well do something worthwhile if you really believe in it. I know how scary it seems to take a leap of faith like that, but we'll figure it out as we go. Because I know I am terrified, actually. Oh god, did I make a mistake? Did I mess up? Can I take it back? Oh god!